What's up, everyone? This is Sam with the Gent Mafia. You are tuning in to the Gent's Conclave. This is the third episode. We took a little break last week. So joining me on the podcast, we have Sam.
And Blake.
And Blake, of course. So yeah, we took a week off from the podcast. We had some stuff going on last week. A little bit busy. Other than that, everything should be fine. Everything should be going along as planned. I think we'll be okay. I guess we could have recorded it like Thursday or something like that. I guess we could have done that like a day or two earlier than what we normally record. But it's whatever. 1 week off ain't a big deal. Need to recuperate. Stuff like that.
Regenerate. Get our stamina back.
So I think the big thing that I'll probably have to discuss is going to be gaming and stuff like that. That'll probably be along the end of the podcast. I think that's what we'll do. But one of the things I was looking at is HBO has confirmed that Game of Thrones is ending after the 8th season. So we just got done with the 6th. We have the 7th, which I think they said is
cut short. I think it's 6 episodes.
I think it's more than that. I thought it was 7 or 8. I thought it was.
I don't think it's 8. I think it's 6 or 7.
Because normally,
and they've already delayed it, so it's coming out in the summer of 2017.
Yeah. Instead
of the spring.
But they confirmed that it is going to be 8 seasons, and I think they said it's going to be there's like 73 hours of film time is what they're going to have, and we've already gone through like so many hours with the first 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So I was watching some stuff about it, and they were doing the math and things like that, and supposedly there's like 2 hours of like on screen time that isn't going to be shown. This is like the theory.
So like what, cut stuff? Like they just cut it out?
No. It's supposed to be shown. They're like, we're going to have 73 hours of stuff shown. And supposedly there's only going to be 71 hours on television. So everyone's like, where's that other 2 hours going? So some people are theorizing there's going to be a movie.
A movie?
A movie.
Now that that'd be interesting. I wonder if they would use the exact same cast, since they already have them.
I would imagine so. What it entails, no idea. If there is a movie, we don't know. That's just kind of the theory right now.
I'm assuming if there were a movie, it would kind of act as the last episode to wrap everything up, you know?
I don't think so. I think what it would probably be, if I was gonna guess, I would say it would be like the whole Tower of Joy thing. It would probably be like the whole like Rhaegar meeting up with Jon Snow's mom. I forgot her name. I'm pretty sure that it would be a movie about all that going down, all of that, and then Robert's Rebellion. That's what I would think if they're going to do that, because it's not necessarily that important to the actual story that's going on right now, especially with everything that's about to go down in these next 2 seasons. So I think that they could cut that into like a little 2-hour movie, and they could do something pretty cool with that. That's what I would think. If I'm looking at it and I'm like trying to put my tinfoil hat on and theorize about some Game of Thrones, I think that it's going to be a little 2-hour movie, and that would be the topic, I would think, just because it doesn't add to the show that's going on right now. But it'd probably make a good movie. I'd go watch it. I know that.
I don't know. I don't know if I could watch that 2 hours of that.
Really?
I don't even think it's really 2 hours of content.
There's gonna be they have like jousting. There's gonna be fucking killing, love, sex, all the stuff that makes Game of Thrones. It's just gonna be with like older people and kind of like help story build a little bit. That's what I would think, anyways.
I don't know. I would assume if they were gonna make a movie, it would be like the last movie, like. Everything's led up to this point, and then they make a 2-hour film, and it's like, this is it. This is the end of it.
I don't know if that would be a good idea, though. Like, just thinking about that, I don't know if I would do that. It would be something different. It would be something we've never seen. But I don't know.
Or maybe it would be the life after so and so. Whatever happens, and then it would be like you know, the fade to screen, and then 5 years later comes up, and then it spits out a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, but what would be interesting about that?
I don't know.
In theory, they would have defeated the White Walkers, if everything goes like correctly and everything works out, they defeated the White Walkers, and either like Daenerys, Jon, or someone else is on the Iron Throne. So I don't know. I don't think I would watch something like a 5 years later kind of bullshit.
I don't think I would watch a worthless Tower of Joy thing.
I don't know. There would be a lot of intrigue with that. There'd be a lot of like backstory telling. Like the Star Wars Rogue One, like all it's gonna do is add a little bit of backstory for like the new movies. That's really all it is.
I haven't even seen any of them.
You haven't?
Any of the new ones? No.
I thought you did see the new one.
No, I haven't. And I'm perfectly okay with that.
It's a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it.
There's a lot of good movies that I don't watch and that you don't watch. You haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
I tried getting through the first one. It's fucking boring.
It's plot setup, man.
It's awful. It's so gross. I don't want to fucking invest. It's like a 2 or 3 hour movie.
The director's cut's better.
It's awful. I don't want to invest that kind of time for a 2 or 3 hour movie just to have like the next two pay off.
Dude, the next two are fantastic.
Hey man, I don't fucking care. I really don't. I hate their accents too. It's so hard to like understand what they're saying. It sounds terrible. It really does. I can't do it.
Whose accent are you talking about?
I like all of them. They sound terrible. Frodo and Gandalf, they sound awful. I hate it. They don't sound good at all to me. That was one of the main gripes I had about the beginning.
They don't sound good?
Yeah, they were trying, like, if you're doing, I don't know, I couldn't take it. I couldn't understand what they were saying, and if it's a movie like you're saying where it's a lot of plot setup, and I can't fucking understand what they're saying, I have to focus that hard, I don't want to watch that movie. It just sounds dumb to me. I understand everyone's like, oh, it's the Lord of the Rings, though. I don't care. I don't care anymore. It's whatever. I know how it ends. I don't care.
Do you?
I do. I've looked up spoilers. Someone, he like jumps into the volcano or something after the ring because he can't give it up. Throw it in. Something like that. I don't know.
I was going to say, you don't know. You don't know the ending.
Is that not the ending?
No, it's not at all.
I thought he falls.
Maybe you should watch the movie.
I thought he falls into the volcano with the ring because he can't get rid of it.
Oh, Gollum does.
Oh. Whatever.
I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
It's how many years old? It doesn't matter at this point.
I mean, you haven't seen it?
I don't care about it. If I haven't seen it at this point, I don't care. You can spoil it for me all you want.
Yeah, Gollum dies because he's crazy.
Yeah. I know there's a whole like backstory with him too.
He bites off Frodo's finger, and then
Jesus,
and then falls over the edge, and then he falls. Gollum and Frodo fall off the edge, and Frodo holds onto the edge. You know, the typical like hero holding onto the edge by like a root.
Should have just killed him.
And then Samwise drags him up, and then Gollum falls in the lava with the ring, dies. Yada yada. Eagles come and pick him up with Gandalf and all them, and they fly out of the volcano while it's erupting and stuff. It's interesting.
Gotta let the heroes die sometimes.
Gollum was the hero.
It's a shitty hero. He's like a meth addict for a piece of jewelry.
Yeah, he's crazy. He gets changed by the ring, the mighty powerful ring.
The mighty powerful ring.
It warps his mind and he goes crazy.
Is its only power that it turns you invisible? Because that's what it seems like.
I'm not actually clear about that. I think it controls the other rings, and when that one was made from Saruman crafting it and whatnot, it was the one ring to rule them all. You know, the slogan.
Okay, I've heard that.
And then I think he did like some kind of magic or some stuff to tie in with it, and then he like puppeted the rest of the ring holders, which were like the leaders of the civilizations of the other races.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess it had some kind of like dark omen with it.
That's weird. It's like, I'm gonna use these rings to control. I don't know. It seems like a decent concept. I mean, it's different. It's different. I can't knock it for not being different. It's just, I don't know. It's not how I would do it if I was gonna take over.
Yeah. I guess. Well, I don't know. It worked. It definitely worked.
Yeah.
Until, like, what's-his-nut cut off his fingers in the battle, and then they took the ring, and then the guy got corrupted by the ring, fell in the river, drowned in the river, and that's where Smeagol, a.k.a. Golem, finds it, and then that's when Smeagol kills his best friend and then goes into the mountains to hide with the ring because he found it, and it's like messing with his brain and stuff. It's the same thing kind of happens to Frodo as you progress through the story as well. Is like the longer they get on the journey, Frodo gets like warped and twisted about the ring. He thinks Samwise is going to take it for himself. It's just like a corruption thing. The ring is.
Huh.
It warps the minds of humans.
See, if you're
and hobbits, I guess.
If you're Sauron and you're giving out these fucking rings and you're trying to take over people with these rings, like I wouldn't make my fucking people that I'm gonna take over like batshit insane.
No. It's because it's too much power for normal people to have. Because Saruman was like this big, like he was almost like a demon kind of figure. Like he was big and strong and magical and all that.
Huh.
And he was the leader of the orcs and stuff.
Oh, he's an orc?
No, he's not an orc. I don't know what he is. He's you don't really get to see his face.
So he's that like giant like eyeball vagina thing that's on that mountain.
That's his spirit. Yeah, his like soul or whatever. It's constantly searching for the ring. Saruman's eye is what it's called. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this sounds really fucking gay.
It's a good movie, man.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's well directed. The action is fantastic. It's just a good movie in general.
I've seen shitty movies with good premises, so I guess I can't really talk shit about it. But man, you're not doing a good job selling me on this. You got a crackhead that's obsessed with a piece of jewelry, this spirit vagina thing that lives in a mountain, and then
he lives in a tower.
He lives in a tower. My apologies.
It's the Tower of Saruman. Saruman's tower. That's where his eye is, looking for the ring.
It's like he lost his contact or something like that.
It's almost like that, yeah.
Dude, I can't
he just wants to find the ring so he can physically manifest himself again.
So, I'm not... Okay. Alright, that's good enough for me, man.
I was going to say, I'm sure the movies would do a lot better of explaining it than I
just don't care enough to watch it. I just don't. There's so many like good movies, I guess, that I need to see. I don't care. My life has been okay this far without having to see these movies. I understand why people like them. I've seen some like cult classics. I even went to go see a play of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that I don't know if Rotten Tomato did a review of it or anything like that, but I heard that like the movie itself wasn't good. Mm-hmm. But I went and I saw a play of it, and they had the movie going on in the background, and then they had actors walking around and like playing as the actors, and they would like go up on stage and everything like that.
So they had the actual movie playing in the back, and they were just like kind of walking around doing their thing.
Yeah, they had the actual movie going on in the background, and then like every time like someone would like show up or do something, there would like the entire audience would yell something, and there were people there that have seen the movie like 10 times and been to this actual play like 10 times.
That's interesting.
And they went because they liked it, and everyone like dressed up like the characters and the audience and stuff. It was a costume contest and everything.
Wow.
It was cool. It was fucking weird for the first time ever seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I got the full on like cult experience of it. And it was fucking wild, man.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's not a good movie. It's fucking awful. If you have no idea what's going on, you're just like, what the hell is this? And you just, I don't know. It's hard to explain without seeing it. It has no backstory to it, so you're just sitting there like, who are these people? What's going on? But I guess it's not the destination, it's the whole road that you travel and the experience of getting there. Like the ending's like, okay, I guess that happened for the ending, but I don't know. I guess if you want to watch it, go for it, but I would go and do it for the whole experience. Like if you're gonna watch this fucking piece of shit of a movie, you might as well just go all in and get the big time experience, so that way it's like bearable. Otherwise, this movie by itself is disgusting. It's not a good movie.
Is it on Netflix or something, or what?
It wouldn't surprise me. Well, I don't know. They might be asking like a lot of money from Netflix, and Netflix is like, dude, I'm not paying that much money for this piece of shit.
Well, they've got some pretty bad movies on Netflix.
That's true. I'm sure it's on like, I'm sure you could find it. I'm sure there's ways that you can find it, but
oh yeah, the internet's a thing. I can find anything I want to watch online.
Absolutely. I don't know. If I was gonna watch that, I'd watch it with a group of people. If you don't want to go to a play, I'd get down with a group of people that have seen it before and they know a little bit of the things, so they can make the experience better. Otherwise, you're just sitting there watching, and you're like, I can't fucking take this anymore, and you're out. There's some weird stuff. They go to a place called Transsexual Transylvania. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. It's a whole ordeal. There's crazy shit. There's like magic and everything.
Magic's okay.
I don't know how else to explain it. They have a dance. It's called the Time Warp Dance.
The Time Warp Dance.
All right. Time Warp Dance. They do this dance, and I think it sends them through time.
You think it sends them through time?
I don't remember exactly if it sends them through time or not, but they're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But there's a whole thing, and there's like the whole song, they're just like talking about the moves, which I mean, like, there's songs that do that now, but I don't know, man.
Like the whip or the nay-nay?
Yeah.
Or that, yeah, it's called the nay-nay.
Mm-hmm.
But you whip and then you nay-nay.
Yeah.
And then you watch them do. I'm white, guys. I don't nay-nay or whip.
Hey, man. Sometimes you gotta whip. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But it's a movie and a half, man. If you're gonna watch it, get a group and do that. Otherwise, don't do it.
To a play? To an actual reenactment?
Just do either. I wouldn't go by myself to the play, man. There's some sketch people.
There's some weird people in there
at this cult, man. There's some sketch people.
The Rocky Horror. What was it?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is it like just like a circus?
Bro, I'll show you pictures after the podcast. I'll show it when we're setting up our food review and we're getting everything ready. I'll show you some pictures of it. It's fucking.
Speaking of which, what do we have for the food review?
They're like these. I guess they're like Tostito, like Dorito nacho thing bites. I don't know what they're actually called.
So like pizza roll nacho?
Yeah, kind of. It looks like on the inside there's like nacho cheese and like I don't know if there's meat or not. And then the outside.
Whose cheese is it then?
I don't know, man. It's nacho cheese. I can tell you that right now. But it's got like cheese in the middle, and then it has kind of like a Dorito crust around the outside, and it looks like you bake it for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll have a couple of those, and I think we should try it in like some ranch, because I'm sure that
ranch. Do they have it in Cool Ranch?
Yes.
In the Cool Ranch Dorito, the blue ones?
Yes, they do.
They do?
I've seen them. At least I'm pretty sure I've seen them. But
I'm looking at these pictures on Google of the Rocky Horror Movie Show or whatever. This is weird, man.
Oh, that's the main guy. I forgot what his name is, but he's a transvestite. Yeah.
Is he okay? So he's a cross-dresser, or does he actually have the parts?
He's a cross-dresser. He's a dude.
This is weird.
That's like you know when you have like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like the little like assistant to Dr. Jekyll. That's essentially what that guy is.
That's Tim Curry.
Oh yeah, there's some fucking big names in the movie. There's some really big names in the movie.
The weird guy is Tim Curry?
Yeah.
Dude, you can't even tell that it's him at this age. And then you like go back there, it's like it's a whole different person.
Oh yeah.
He looks nothing like that.
It was a big production, and I'm pretty sure it absolutely bombed in the box office. But it's like recently picked. Well, not recently. Well, I guess kind of recently, because it's after the movie like came out, but it picked up with the whole cult following. Huh. I mean, there's movies that do that. Like I I don't know.
It's a 1975 comedy music / horror. That is an interesting genre mix. I'll tell you that.
There was nothing horror about, well, unless like you were freaked out by like some of the things that were going on in there.
Well, I guess it's 1975, so they were kind of not too comfortable with gays and whatnot.
Yeah.
And cross dressers. I can't talk right now. Anyways, you get the point.
Yeah.
They weren't really exactly accepted.
No.
Rotten Tomato gives it an 80%.
What?
Now, is 80% bad or good?
That's good. That's good for a Rotten Tomato.
Okay. IMDb gave it a 7.4 out of 10.
Real? That's got to be recent. That they know the whole thing behind it. If this was a brand new movie that came out, people, well, if it was in today's age when everyone's like, yeah, you go, man or woman, it might be different, but fuck.
There's a guy in the movie called Riff Raff?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That was played by Riff Raff. He just hasn't aged.
He's doing really well then.
That would explain how he's got all them Jordans, man.
He's tiptoeing in them all the time.
Tiptoeing. Oh, God.
It looks like a weird movie.
It's very weird. It's very, very weird. You see a lot of strange stuff. It's a musical as well. So that's why there's a lot of singing and stuff like that. I'm not crazy on...
Okay, the tomato guys at Rotten Tomato gave it an 80%. Okay. And the audience themselves gave it an 85%. Huh. So it actually has a higher rating with people than it does the actual critiques, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
People, like, normal people go out to the movie, they're like, oh, that was pretty good, and then Rotten Tomato would be like, that was shit. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Ebert and Roper, back in the day. I don't know. If it was, like, brand new, I was back in, you said 1975 it came out?
1975, yeah.
If I was back in 1975 and I went and I saw that in movie theaters, I would think that was the biggest waste of money I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Dude, its genre mix is so expansive. It's ridiculous. It's classic, comedy, cult movie, horror, musical and performance, arts, science fiction, and fantasy.
That sounds awful. Really
that
does.
Sounds like a Sci-Fi Channel mix-up. You ever watched the Sci-Fi Channel and they just got those awful movies like The Spider with machine guns?
Yeah. I hate musicals, like watching movies that are musicals.
I've seen probably one musical in my life, and it was Disney on Ice when I was like 10 years old.
Disney on Ice.
And I'll tell you what, I got a Buzz Lightyear cup, and I couldn't have been happier. That thing was probably like a $20 cup.
That's pretty sweet.
But I mean, it was pretty awesome, man.
Man, I had a Buzz Lightyear.
They're still doing that stuff, aren't they? Disney on Ice?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it changes yearly depending on like what movies they release and stuff.
They probably have different setups and they'll probably go through. It's probably like how Broadway musicals pop up and they'll do like different musicals. Like there's still plays being written.
Oh yeah. I don't know how many of them are classic and whatnot.
Well, we'll see down the road, but like
I was gonna say like when we're old chaps, we'll know what is a classic play or not. I mean, really, because I guess we don't really go and see.
No, we don't go watch any plays or anything like that. But I don't know. I hate musicals. I hate. I've watched a couple musicals as movies, and they're disgusting. I hate them. There was one. I think it's Repo Man or something like that. The something opera.
Okay.
It was fucking
Phantom
weird.
of the Opera?
It wasn't Phantom of the Opera.
That's a good movie.
I've heard it's good. Is it a musical?
It's a musical.
I'm not watching it.
It's pretty good, though.
I ain't gonna do it.
I'll give it to it. I've watched it. I was in choir and whatnot and band, and they made us watch it a lot. And it's a pretty darn good movie, honestly.
Because I wasn't thrilled when I watched the South Park movie. Like, the South Park movie was a musical. And I wasn't a big fan of it, even though
they have a musical in all their like movies, don't they? At least one.
They write Broadway shows, man. They wrote a Broadway show called The Book of Mormon and stuff like that, and they do singing and stuff like that. Occasionally they'll sing in like the television show, but like that's few and far between. But like the whole South Park movie, it was just a musical, and I wasn't. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of the musical bits were funny. Like, when Cartman sings that Kyle's mom is a big fat bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny, but...
was pretty good.
For the most part, I was just like, come on. Can we stop doing the musical thing? But Other than that, I mean, it was whatever.
Star Trek is doing really well on Rotten Tomato.
That's what I've heard. The new Star Trek movie's pretty deep.
The Star Trek movies in general are really good if you haven't watched them. They're definitely worth a watch.
I heard the first one wasn't great.
I liked them, man. They're good. Well, then again, I'm a big fan of the older shows as well, so...
Yeah, that's true. I think I've noticed that, like, they're on YouTube, like, if I'm watching, and they're, like, doing a commercial for, like, the Star Trek movie. They're actually using Rotten Tomato as, like, a respected critic. They're like, Rotten Tomato gave this a 90%. Mm-hmm. Go see Star Trek now.
And that's okay, because they're really used a lot. Like, you hear about IMDb, Rotten Tomato, and maybe Metacritic or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Metacritic does movies. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I guess they're not bad. Like, the critics aren't bad. I would look up what they gave the new Ghostbusters movie.
I looked at it. It was just on my screen. I think it was like a 84.
No way.
The new Ghostbusters 73%.
Okay, I would say that's like a mediocre score. If I had to guess,
it's actually on the topper end of their scale.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of people that have
the audience score
a lot of beef.
Abysmal. It's
terrible. Is it really?
It's like 58.
It's 58. Okay, that would be one of the times I would trust the audience more. I feel like Rotten Tomato gave it that score
they
for
could have been,
image.
I was going to say they could have been paid off as well. Because I mean, there's some companies that are like they give money to the rating sites, and they're like, "Hey, give this a good rating, and you can have this lump of money that we're going to give to you."
It happens with video games too. Yeah,
it happens a lot.
Yeah, that would be something I would trust more as the audience.
I can just tell by the trailers and whatnot of the Ghostbusters that it wasn't something that I would want to go out and watch and pay for. It just doesn't click with me, I guess. I don't know.
I haven't watched it. I mean, I would probably watch it as a rental just to kind of see, but from what it sounds like...
I guess, like a $5 rental, I'll take that.
Yeah, I think I would do that, especially since
going to the theater, and with how expensive theaters are nowadays, there's no way.
It's got all this hubbub with it. The guy that I've been watching a ton of lately, that Milo Yiannopoulos guy, he actually got kicked off of Twitter because he gave a review.
Yeah, he got banned, yeah?
Yeah, he got banned off of Twitter because he did a review of the movie, and he said it sucked. And then...
See, that's the thing. You can't rightfully judge this movie without being sexist or something like that.
Yeah.
Without being a misogynist pig or blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's not even the reason. I don't like it because it fucking sucks.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things, is that that might be something that I would say with the Rotten Tomato thing, is that they
would be scared of their image being...
Yeah, they want to look like they're like pro-women.
Definitely could.
Because Milo, he has a reputation for being like a right prick like that. The dude's gay as fuck. Like, let's be honest, the dude's gay as fuck. Mm-hmm. And he'll even say it. So he's almost like a bulletproof kind of like guy that can criticize, but he recently he got attacked by it. The black female lead in the movie went at him, and
really,
yeah, they started off by unverifying him, so they took that little check mark away from him.
You can't unverify somebody just because they don't. What?
Because they got in a beef. They unverified him, and then they kicked him off of Twitter.
That is so bullshit, dude.
Hey, man. That's how it is. If anything, when they unverified him, he actually got more followers after that. His amount of followers increased after he got unverified. And so that's when they ended up banning him. But they're just...
Because he was going to make it a social justice thing.
Yeah, well...
They needed to get rid of him real quick.
When they do stuff like that, all they're doing is just adding to his credibility. And they don't fucking realize
They're like, yeah, you're right.
He's sitting there, he's like, you guys are fucking insane. And then they're like, well, we're going to ban you off Twitter for saying that. And it's just like, that's my point. Exactly. You're banning me off of Twitter because I have an opinion that differs from you. It's fucking unreal.
Has he been let back on Twitter yet? Or?
As far as I know, no. As far as I know, he hasn't. I know, he's not really making a big deal about it. I saw a video, I didn't watch it, but apparently he went up, Twitter had some sort of, booth set up at some convention or something, and he went over to that booth and, he started talking to him or something like that. That's what the title of the video said. Now, I haven't watched it, so I don't know what all went down and what he said or anything like that. But that's actually a pretty big deal over there on Twitter right now, is banning him. And there's like a hashtag and everything that's like Free Milo or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous that they would ban him in the first place because he got in a scuffle with an actor.
He didn't even get into a scuffle. I don't think he... I think he sent like 1 or 2 tweets out at her, like after she like called him out and stuff like that. And then he got jumped for it. If anything,
the actor's in the wrong for just being like, oh, I hate you for having an opinion on the movie that I worked on. That's not right.
I would have to see what the tweets were exactly before like I jumped on it, but I'm pretty sure he gave like a review about it, and then she said something snarky about it, and then like there was a whole fucking thing about it. So I mean, obviously I got that dude kicked off of Twitter.
Man, you can't have opinions today at all.
No, it's crazy.
And if your opinion is not what it is accepted, man, you're gonna get jumped on.
Oh, if it's not popular, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're just in an era right now.
This social justice movement in like our time, our generation, is terrible.
The whole politically correct thing right now. So the way I look at it is, just imagine we're on like a big pendulum right now. So when we were like super like crazy and racist, that was one end of the scale, and right now we're on super PC. That's the other end of the scale, and hopefully,
and it's just as bad.
It's. Well, I wouldn't say just as bad.
Well, you can take shots at anything at that point. It's like, oh, you're...
In what way?
You could make anything look bad in a bad light. It's like, oh, you have a female character in your video game that has less clothes. You're an awful game. You should kill yourself. Yada, 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 yada.
I mean, saying that you should kill yourself, and that, I don't see a lot of people saying that, unless it's just like little trolls on the internet with their little YouTube channel
well, you
with
get
like
what I
one
mean,
subscriber. Like, those people don't matter. Okay,
well,
their words don't hold any weight, and you know it.
Well, the developers of games are getting so many death threats nowadays. They literally get people sending them mail and emails like, I'm going to find your family, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah, but like if you look at, those are just threats, and yeah, you need to try to prevent them, and those are awful.
But I think Blizzard just arrested a guy because he sent out like emails and he was like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna walk up into your place with an AK and shoot all of you.
Yeah.
And they actually found him having weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And he got charged, he went to jail.
There's very real threats out there and stuff like that. But like when you look at it on the opposite scale, like I was talking about, like there were people like being lynched and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there were actual people dying. So it's like living in a super PC world is a little bit better than like having a bunch of people getting lynched and hanged in the streets. So I mean, both of them suck. But hopefully we're gonna get to like this nice little medium spot right there where like you can tell a joke and people aren't gonna be like, oh, I'm so offended by that, I'm so butthurt.
Yeah, they're triggered.
It's fucking... I hate that word. I'm triggered by the word triggered. I'll tell you that right now. It's fucking... If you say that you're triggered, I fucking automatically lose all respect for the argument that we're having. It's fucking disgusting. It's one of those loaded words now. It's just... It's moronic, honestly.
Yeah.
And like I'm like starting to put stuff out on my Facebook. I'm trying to see like who on my friends list is one of those people that gets triggered.
Gets mad?
Yeah. I'm starting to find out like... if I have any social justice warriors and like white knights camping around.
Oh yeah, the white knights. That's another term for them.
God. Find those. I'm pretty sure white knight isn't acceptable for them anymore either because it's a color.
Oh yeah, you could be a white knight about being a white knight.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be a normal knight, huh? or a black knight? Why can't I be that, huh? Why does it have to be a white knight? That's the good guy.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Like some of the stuff that they're doing. Did you know? I think it's Harvard. They're trying to change like the pronouns for people. Like you can't refer to people as he or she and stuff like that. They're trying to find new ones. It's like there's like 26 new gender pronouns. They're like
that are like gender neutral.
Yeah, that are gender neutral. There are like 26 of them, and they're gender neutral pronouns. They're like XIR and like this weird shit. It's fucking banana sandwich, and they're trying to make that a thing over at their school, and they're trying to make it like spread out.
So they don't offend anyone?
I guess that seems what they're going for, because there's There is a, I don't want to say Tumblr, but it's pretty much like when you think about it, it's like Tumblr.
You just say online forum because they're all bad.
There's a lot of bad ones. Reddit seems like the troll fucking one.
Yeah, and there's 4chan. That's the crazy guy that sits in the corner.
4chan's fucking bananas.
Yeah, there's some bad people on 4chan.
There was some shit on there. I saw. I got on Reddit one morning and there was a giant fucking article talking about some kid. He went and he shot up his college and he started off on 4chan and he posted on 4chan. He was like, if you go to this school, don't come to school tomorrow because I'm about to light the place up.
Oh yeah, I think I read about that on Facebook too. They had an article on there.
He identified as a beta male. And
those are the big suspects nowadays. It's the beta rising.
They were like, beta uprising. Is it time, my brother? And like there were dudes on there like giving them like tips for like how to kill the most people and stuff like that.
Man.
It was fucked, and like everyone like was talking about it on Reddit, and it was a big thing. And then apparently there was a news article. They were like the hacker 4chan. It was a big fucking thing because the news article, they had no fucking idea what they were talking about.
Well, that would be 90% of news articles, and
I wouldn't say that. They're skewed. That's what I would say.
Biased, yeah, 100%.
A lot of them are biased. So
they're not very educated in most of the time in the stuff they're talking about. They're just talking about it because they can, and it's what's hot.
Yeah. One of the things I started reading up more about is like global warming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I started looking at I did a report on it in college and like the importance of like recycling and like alternative energy sources and stuff like that.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah, the 3 R's.
Yeah, the
And I went in and it was just like a couple days ago. I don't know what it was, but I saw something and I was like, let me do a little research on global warming. And so I looked at the people that were like global warming skeptics and the people that were like global warming is like 100% happening and we need to do this.
It's such a broad spectrum.
Both fucking sides, both of the points that they brought to the table were fucking awful. Both of them were absolute shit with the points that they brought up. And like the data that they had to back it up, both of them were fucking awful.
Yeah, well, most of the data that they use for it is really like they just take like a 10-year chunk out of history that was hotter, and they're like, look how hot this was.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's see the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't have that. It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's impossible for us to do that because it was so many years ago. And
it's not, man. They're digging up ice that was like tens of thousands of years ago in the Antarctica, man. They can see all the different layers and ice and stuff that happened.
I will say this. Both sides, like, while I said most of their points are fucking shit, both of them
They both have a good intention.
Both of them, well...
I mean, you should care about where you live more, is the bigger idea about it.
The people that are for global warming, those, if I had to align myself, I would go with them just because it's like, worst thing is we have a better future.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that would happen. If you go with the skeptics and you side with them, you can, instead of promoting all this money into, like, essentially wasting money into researching all this global warming when the world technically warms and cools itself anyways, and we have we don't do anything about it. You could side with both of them. But like recycling and stuff like that, like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, either way, you should leave the planet off better when you go than when you got there.
We definitely need,
and I think in a way we're improving from back in the day when we would dump oil we dump oil, but it's not on purpose. It just apparently ship captains can't drive straight or something. I don't know. They seem to find a lot of rocks to hit.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's not intentional always, but I mean. Oil's oil, it spills, it happens. It's an accepted thing now. But like we don't dump stuff into lakes. We can't have factories that have runoffs into open water sources and stuff like that. I mean, we're getting better in pollution when you have like a tower that emits smoke or excess from whatever you're working on. They have to be regulated and they are checked on.
Yeah. Some would argue it's not as much as it should be. Some would say, well, I mean, it's good enough. It just depends what side you're on.
I wouldn't say it's good enough, or it's not good enough, or we need to do more. It's going to improve as we go along.
Yeah. But how long, Blake, before we get to that point?
See, that's the thing. We can't rush things, otherwise it's like it's going to get into a problem.
I don't know. There's a lot of pulls from every side, and it's just like, well, we definitely need to focus on this, otherwise it can mean the end of the world, and it's just...
Yeah, the world's going to split in half, and we're going to have 2 separate planets.
I don't know. Speaking of, fucking California is going to fucking... I'm waiting for them...
To just fall into the ocean someday? Yeah. They're going to have an earthquake that's too big, and they're just going to plop right off?
That's been the thing. They're like, well, we're due for a big one, and supposedly, I've heard that if something hits a 10 on the Richter scale, apparently pieces of Earth can shoot into space with how powerful a 10 on the Richter scale is. That's how powerful that is. Can you imagine you're shooting chunks of Earth into space?
Well, it's acceptable because it's unfathomable to imagine the amount of pressure on the plates, the tectonic plates, and the shifts of land that are there. The amount of pressure they have on them is probably... I can't even imagine how tough it would be. And for something to be a 10, it'd be like millions and millions and millions of years in the working of just like, it can't move, it's trying to move. It's like when you try and push your hands together and you want one to go a certain way. It's like that, except times a million.
Yeah, there's supposedly they're due for a big one. The San Andreas Fault's getting ready to fucking crack, but that's what everyone's saying.
There's that, and
they're
then
on a fault line with tectonic plates, and if supposedly they're going to break off.
Yeah, and they just like slide apart, and then the one that goes under is going to be California, and then they go right into the ocean.
Yeah. That's what everyone's thinking.
There'd have to be some kind of like early telltale sign that that's happening, though. You know, you can't just like fall off into the ocean.
They've got to,
especially if that happened, there would be a giant tsunami across this.
Oh my
planet.
God, yeah,
it would be huge. Hawaii would probably be underwater easily.
Oh yeah, well,
if the entire chunk of California fell off,
that is a really big earthquake. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
The water shift that would create would be unreal.
That's going to be huge. It's going to affect... It is going to be a global thing if that happens. And then, like, Yellowstone National Park is
there's a super volcano. It's not a normal volcano, folks. It's a super volcano.
A super volcano sitting underneath Yellowstone National Park.
They said if it erupted, it would, like, take out 3 states or something like that.
I heard that it could be one of those global extinction
events. Yeah, it would spit out like tons and tons of ash into the atmosphere, and we would have a literal like night or a winter. It would be a dark winter.
It would be like
it would just cover up. We would get no sun. It would be cold as weeds. Yeah. It would be an ice age. It would be its own created ice age.
It would be an extinction event for sure.
I don't think it would extinct us. I think humans are resilient enough that they would be able to live.
We wouldn't be able to grow food.
We would seriously be hurt.
We wouldn't be able to grow food. If there's all that ash in there and the sun can't get through, you can't grow food, and then there's just ash raining down.
We've gotten through it before with the Neanderthals and though. Yeah.
I don't know if that was as big as a super volcano in Yellowstone National Park, though.
They had, I don't know, who knows. They lived in an ice age area too.
I mean,
they were really nomadic and hunted. That's what they did. They ate meat.
Yeah, but we wouldn't. If our fucking we live off of cows and chickens and stuff like that. Like they need something to eat.
Well, that's how we live now. It would change everything. 100%. We would have to change as a species.
I don't know if we could change that fast. I think everyone dies. Well, not everybody. I'm sure there's going to be some people that live on the opposite side of the world or something like that. Like they'll
That's what I'm saying. We'd never get extinct from it. What would happen is we would severely die out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would be cut down from 7 billion we're at now. It would probably be way less than that.
Is it 7 billion?
I think it's 7 billion. 7 billion and counting.
I thought it was more. I think it's actually starting to even out now. From what I've heard.
Growth?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think that it's starting to even out, and it's not growing as exponentially as it was. Because there were projections that by
2020 we'd have 15 billion or something like that.
Yeah, some bullshit like that. It was ridiculous.
I don't think. See, there's no way. Well, I guess there is a way we could get there, but I don't think there's.
It's because like we're not a baby boomer generation right now. Like the baby boomers are dying out, and that was a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And they're like the new generation right now. They're just not having as many kids.
Well, it's because they grew up with a different like social structure, with the economy being down and stuff like that. You grew up with parents that divorced and that didn't have a lot of money. You live up poorly, and it's like you see your parents go through divorce, and you're like, I don't want any part of that. And most people that don't get married don't have kids.
Divorce rates are actually going down too.
They're starting to come back out.
I think they're under 50% last I checked.
That would be nice. Because, I mean, I went through a divorce, or my parents went through a divorce when I was a kid, and I'd tell you, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
No. It's an unfortunate situation, but
it was a matter of circumstance, really.
Yeah.
The economy crashed, and when there's pressure with a job and money and upkeeping a family, I mean, it gets to you.
I'm pretty sure that's like the number one reason why they have why there's divorce is just money. I'm fucking quoting statistics out of my ass. I've got no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure that the number one is money. Number two, I couldn't fucking tell you. I just know money is a big reason why people break up and shit like that. But who knows, man?
Sometimes the people change,
That happens too.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you're married for 10, 15, 20 years, that person's not going to be the same person that you met 20 years ago. They're going to change as a person mentally and sometimes physically. Sometimes women get fed up of old fat bastards. Farty, smelly, hairy bastards.
Yeah.
And it's the other way around. I guess it could be the same thing.
Yeah, it goes both ways. It's just people, man. People get sick of each other.
7.4 billion people are in this world as of 2016. Yes,
that's a lot.
It's only gone up 300 billion since 2013.
300 million, you mean?
Billion. Million.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wrong zeros.
Okay. I think that they lifted the ban in China as well.
I think it wasn't it Japan?
It was one of the two. It was either Japan or China.
I thought it was Japan because they don't have room to expand anywhere. They're on the island.
They had a ban where you could only have one child.
Yeah. A lot of bad things happen over in China and Japan and all those places if you have a certain gender of child as well.
Yeah, I think there's some with females.
Yeah, their social society is a lot different than ours. Like, if you have so-and-so kid and they did so-and-so thing, they're completely ashamed.
It's also not 50-50 breeding. Did you know that? Like, you would think that, like, it's 50% guys that come out, 50% girls. It's actually skewed towards more women.
Yeah, there's more women in the world than there are guys.
I think it's 53 to 47 or something like that.
I studied that in school as well. I think it was some kind of...
Yeah. It explains a lot of stuff. It's math, it's numbers. That's just how it is.
Isn't that how most species are, though? There's more women than males?
I don't know that. I don't know that for certain. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, for being as small as Japan is, they're the 11th most populated country.
That's crazy. What's number one?
China.
China?
China's massive.
China is big.
They've got a lot of land and they've got a lot of people. 1.4 billion.
What's number two?
India, which...
India?
Thing.
That makes sense.
They have a lot of people in there.
Is US 3?
US is 3.
Okay.
Yep. 324 million.
What's number 4?
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yes, and the fifth one's pretty surprising as well, if you would like to guess.
I'm going to say Russia.
Russia. Nope.
No?
Brazil.
Brazil.
I did not see that one coming at all.
I wouldn't have expected that one.
I can't even see Russia on here. Never mind, they're number 9.
Number 9?
Which,
that's surprising. Russia's huge.
Russia is massive. And if you think about it, Japan is 10 or 11, so they're only 2 lower than Russia. And Japan is, 1/1000th the size of Russia? Yeah, Russia is huge.
Russia's massive.
It spans across, 3 continents? Or is it 2? Europe and Asia?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes into Europe. Pretty sure it does. Fucking geography. I didn't do too well.
Yeah, and then I know you can from the tip of Alaska and the tip of like Russia, you can actually see the coasts if you're high enough and it's a clear enough day.
For real?
You can see the coasts from Alaska to Russia.
I didn't know that. I knew there used to be...
That's what I heard. I've never gone to Alaska. I would not like Alaska that much.
I know there used to be a land bridge in between the two.
Yes, and that's how, as a nomadic species, like Indians and such crossed over from Asia to America.
Yeah.
As they crossed over that land bridge, and that's how there's similarities between Indians and like Indians. What do you call an Indian that lived in China, or a Native American? So what's a Native American in China?
They weren't Native American at the time, so...
I understand that. So, what would you call them? That's what I'm asking.
It would be Chinese. I mean, if that's where they're from. And then they just moved to a new place. And then the land bridge left, and they just landlocked.
Well, you don't...
It's like So, like, if you're talking about, like, our parents, like, came over. My grandfather was Italian, and my grandmother was German. My grandfather was a first-generation American, as in his parents lived in Sicily, and then they moved to America, and they moved to Rockford for whatever God knows
and he was,
reason.
And
he was actually 4 years old.
And his parents were European,
yeah.
And he is American.
He was actually 4 years old when he was moved over to here. So he was technically born in Sicily, and then he moved here. And I think my grandma, I don't think she was ever in Germany. I don't think she was. If she was, she never told me.
She might have been.
She might have been. She was 100% German.
Is that the...
Yeah.
The grandma...
Yeah.
Okay.
The get out the poo German.
Get out the poo!
Yeah, she's 100% German. My grandfather was 100% Italian.
Man, that's an Axis power right there.
That was a fucking interesting thing because they didn't fucking like each other at the time. It was pretty wild, man. There's a whole story behind all of that stuff. But yeah, so he was like a first. So you look at it and you're like, oh well, the like parents that moved over, you would consider them Italians, and then like the kids after that, you would consider them American. So like, if there's like the Asians that were like moving across like the land bridge and ended up here.
You know how we call Native Americans,
yeah,
and not Americans. What would we call an Indian Chinese person? That's what I'm saying. A native Chinese, native Asian.
They're not alive anymore. Like, what I don't understand what point you're trying to make here.
I don't know. There's Native Americans.
Okay.
What would be a term for a Chinese Native American?
If they came from that place, they're Native Americans.
Well, not all of them left. There had to have been tribes.
Then they stayed over there, and they're Asian.
Oh, I guess there were. There were the Huns, and they were the Genghis Khans, the Khans. Yeah, I guess they were just...
They grew it in their own thing over there.
You'd have to study ancient history, I suppose, yeah? Because you had the Huns. Yeah, the Huns. The Huns are from there.
Attila and that clan.
Yeah.
I've heard some crazy numbers about him. Like
Attila?
Yeah,
his empire was massive.
Yeah, supposedly a large majority of people descend from him over there.
That's the same way for like royalty over in Europe. Like, you guys have a lot of mixed blood.
No, they don't. If anything, over in Europe, their blood isn't mixed enough. That's why there's a lot of diseases and stuff in the royal family. Like, I think they're hemophiliacs, I think that means their blood won't clot and stuff, like if they bleed and shit like that. But I know they have some sort of blood disease or something going on over there because there was a lot of inbreeding early on in their years. I think it's starting to expand out a little bit more now.
I would have to assume if there's 7 billion people, there's quite a bit of diversity now.
Yeah, but the royal family doesn't exactly go out and breed with people that aren't royalty. Like, it's not how it is over here in America, where it's like you can marry whoever the fuck you want. It's not how it is with the royalty. It's not. They're not gonna wife some like street merchant or something like that.
Street merchant?
It's not how it is.
Has the trench coat, opens it up, and you want some of this? I want to put a ring on your finger.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, send me that ring.
And they pluck their tooth out and give it to each other. That's their proposal.
Yeah. a tooth ring. That'd be pretty disgusting.
You make it into a necklace or something.
That'd be like a bone ring too, you know?
Yeah.
Like if somebody lost their finger, they just mold it into a ring.
Oh,
and you're like, here,
God,
have this.
The fuck? That's awful.
I'm sure it's been done.
It probably has. If someone ever offered me a bone ring, I would politely decline in the nicest way possible as to not offend them, and then try to sneak away as fast as possible, because I don't know how you got that bone ring. I don't want to stick around and find out. I don't want to be turned into any bone rings, I'll tell you that right now. So I'm dipping out of there as quick as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd give them a chance, I guess. If they're giving me a bone ring, man, that's got to be pretty ritualistic, you know?
If some
that's pretty serious.
Sketch-ass motherfucker walks up to you and is like, I want to marry you.
Well, of course, yeah, he can't look like he lived up in Chernobyl or something like that.
Who's gonna look decent is gonna hand you a ring made out of bone?
I don't know. Who knows, man?
It's not gonna happen.
Prince Charming could come up with a bone ring right now.
Dude, I'm telling you this. If Prince Charming walks up to me with a bone ring, I'm like, you have some sort of mental disorder.
He's still Prince Charming, though, man.
Dude, there's a reason why he's got this bone ring.
We're guys, so Princess Charming, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
I wouldn't fuck with it. If someone runs up to me with a bone ring, regardless of how they look, I'm out. They got something going on in their head.
I'd probably put on a bone ring.
I wouldn't, man.
In holy matrimony.
That thing might have some like bad magic or something on it and turn you into a frog or something.
Turn me into a frog.
You're like a bone frog now or something.
Turns me into like a stone or a statue or gargoyle or some shit.
It's like shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd wear a bone ring.
Ugh, no, thank you. That's too creepy for me, man. It's bad enough when you get like passed down like dead families, like jewelry and shit like that. Could you imagine like one made?
That's not bad.
That's a little weird.
I have a turquoise and like silver ring that was made by my great grandmother, who was the chieftain's wife in a tribe.
Yeah.
That shit's cool, man.
It's kind of cool, but when you think about it, it's kind of fucking creepy because you're pulling that jewelry off of a dead person.
It's not like they yanked it off, like, here, I killed you for this ring.
Well,
they just passed away from age and stuff.
Not everybody does, and it's just like,
okay.
This was your great Grammy's ring.
Yeah, it's cool. You have a piece of your heritage on you.
That's still a little weird. Like when you start getting right down to it, it's like, oh yeah, this person died.
Oh, that person died. I don't want to.
Here's a piece of the jewelry. It's like, oh, thanks, man.
I'd take. It's part of your family heritage.
It is. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's a little weird when you start thinking about it.
It's kind of like the same thing where you take hand-me-downs from like an older cousin or something.
I fucking hated that.
Fucking you wear this dude's shirt.
Luckily, I was big enough. I never fucking. I
got hand-me-downs. We have a tall family, so.
Oh.
We all pretty much fit into each other's clothes.
I was awkward compared to the rest of my family. My body was different than everybody else in my family, so.
Well, yeah, you've seen my brother, and Connor's gonna be the same way.
Fucking identical to
beanstalk.
Identical.
Figure. And then our whole family, the Joseph family.
Yeah.
Good luck finding the Joseph family. There's a lot of them out there.
There's a lot of goddamn Josephs. I'm surprised that Zamudo is actually pretty common too. I went and I looked around.
And it's not even our native name that's common. We have a lot of or Joseph is our name currently, but it got changed by my grandpa when he moved from Poland to America. And he didn't want to have a Polish last name because he would be judged.
Yeah. And
he wouldn't have gotten a job as fast if he was a Polish guy. He actually worked on skyscrapers in Chicago.
No shit.
Yep. He was one of those beam walkers.
Oh my god.
Yep. He was a crazy mofo.
Was he up there doing flips and stuff and riding his hoverboard?
I don't know. That's beyond my time. All I know is when he was older, man, he was a loon. He would he would drink Pepsi like it was water.
Huh.
Like it was just water, man. If there wasn't Pepsi in the house, this dude was gonna die.
It'd be ironic because if he was scared of roller coasters and shit like that.
See, I don't think they had many roller coasters back in the day, though.
And your grandpa, though?
Yeah, my grandpa.
How?
My dad's 56, and it's my dad's dad.
I guess it would depend. I don't know. I think that
we're saying like probably 80, 90 years ago.
That would be back, maybe. I mean, you could go on a roller coaster when you're like 50.
I guess how long has Six Flags been around?
It's been around for a while.
And there couldn't have been that many of them back in the day, though.
No, but when you look at like how old the American Eagle is, that wooden ass roller coaster,
that thing is sketch. Ain't nobody should ride that thing.
It's fucking
that
sketch.
Freaking wood creaks as you're going through the road. No roller coaster should creak.
That's part of the fun, though.
It's not fun.
It is. It's supposed to scare you.
I'll go on a straight drop rather than an entire thing shaking.
The goddamn
the Viper too. The Viper's terrible.
That thing's smooth. That thing's really nice.
The all wooden one?
Yeah, that one's not bad at all. The Eagle, that one breaks down all the fucking time. And there's a little buzzer so that way you can pull the little lap bar off of you and it gets stuck all the time.
No.
Almost every train someone's getting stuck in there. So it's a super sketch one. The Viper, I think I've gone there several
1961.
times. 1961
is when they were founded.
I assume that there were things similar to roller coasters around then.
Founded 1961 in Texas. Grand Prairie, Texas.
Grand Prairie. I think that's the Six Flags that's near us.
Is it?
I think so. Grand Prairie's not far from us.
Who knows? All I know is 1961.
Huh. Okay. I would guess that your grandpa probably could have went on a roller coaster. I think it would be funny if he was afraid of going on roller coasters, but he was like, whatever, man, I'll walk around on a beam all day. I ain't riding no goddamn roller coaster.
That'd be pretty ironic.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Have you seen in
It'd
Chicago?
Be like the tightrope walker that's scared of heights.
Oh my god. Those motherfuckers are insane.
There's one that like walks across lines across like buildings and shit.
Yeah. I actually
he did a line across the Grand Canyon, yeah?
Yeah, he did it on
that dude's
television.
insane. And he did that because his grandfather or something was like one of the first tightrope walkers to run across or walk across, I guess they don't run. To walk across a line on top of skyscrapers back in the day before before color, you know.
So, speaking of that, I'm on Reddit here, and there was a guy. It says a guy just successfully jumped 25,000 feet with no parachute into a net.
Dude, that could not have felt great.
There's video of it actually. It's on
25,000 feet.
It's on streamable.
Or 2,500 feet.
25,000.
Oh my.
That's 25, comma with 3 zeros.
God.
Let's boot this.
Does it have audio or is
I don't know.
You take the audio off. Yeah, it has audio. Just turn that off.
Okay. So we're watching.
So he literally jumped out of a plane.
So they're up in a plane right now. And he's getting ready to jump out. There's someone hanging outside of the airplane right now.
That's unsettling.
They jumped. 4 people just jumped.
Okay, so
keeping an eye on a guy in
I was going to say the one in the front is probably the one without the chute, and the others are there for his safety. I'm assuming the other guys pull off because there's only a certain point that they can be safe, you know?
Yeah, I imagine.
So I would assume like
they're probably trying to guide him so that way he lands into the net.
That is crazy, man.
And they'll grab him if they think he's going to miss.
So, I wonder which one it is.
It's got to be the guy in green and white. It has to be. They have little smoke trails coming off of their shoes, so that way you can
guide them around. Yeah.
See here.
How fast are they going?
They're moving 150 miles per hour.
100, and that's where it maxes out velocity. Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably at terminal velocity. He's about halfway through it right now, giving like a little thumbs up.
How do you even train for something like that? You know, you're like, I'm jumping out of a plane without a parachute.
I'm sure you just skydive and you just.
I wonder how many times he's had to.
It's got to be math.
Dive.
There's a lot of stuff. Obviously they look like professionals. They look like they know 100%. What they're doing.
Nobody it's not like I'm gonna jump out of a plane and be like, videotape this.
This is insane. They're just straight up. They're just skydiving.
They're just falling. Yeah, they're just falling. The guy without the chute's just like a casual skydiver, without a chute this time.
They're starting to.
Is that what they usually? How like high they jump out of? Like 25,000?
I would assume it's something like that.
Or he was probably going for a record, yeah.
I'm almost positive this is a record. All right, so the other guys are starting to pop their parachutes.
Yeah, because it's unsafe for them not to know.
Yeah, everyone else popped their parachutes. This dude's just falling on his own.
He's on his own. He has no backup.
He can see the ground where he's aiming now.
And imagine that if he missed, though, dude. Imagine the people that he brought with him and everything. They just see this dude just, like, literally pancake.
All right, he's coming in. It looks like he's going to hit it. I mean, obviously he does hit it. We know that.
Yeah.
All right. Golly.
That is insane. Yeah, imagine... Oh, my God.
They had a crowd there? Like, if that dude splatted...
Yeah, that would have been terrifying. It would have been awful.
Oh, my gosh.
That's insane.
He's just, like, crumpled up in there right now.
Well, he hit that freaking net going 150 miles per hour.
Yeah. Imagine if it was like a spider web or something like
that. You try catching a ball with your hand, it's not going to go well.
Oh, my gosh.
You can't catch a ball with a net.
That was insane. 25,000 feet that dude falls into a net with no freaking parachute.
That's crazy. Man. I don't think I could ever jump out of or put myself in danger like that.
No, I don't even want to go skydiving.
I think once in my life I would like to at least try it.
No, I'm completely okay with my feet on the ground right now.
Because the first time you dive, you're strapped to the dude.
Yeah, but shit can go wrong. I know everyone's like, well, you have backup parachutes and stuff like that, and there's other people around you. Fuck that, dude. Why even tempt it? Like, I'm not going to go bungee jumping or anything like that.
No, bungee jumping is sketch. Bungee jumping is 100% less safe than skydiving. Because those cords, man, those cords are...
Yeah.
It's like a rubber band, man. You ever stretch a rubber band too far? And sometimes you can stretch it that far, and other times you can't.
It happens. I don't know. I haven't heard of any bungee jumping deaths lately in a long time.
There's 100%, and it probably happens often.
I'm sure... I wouldn't say often. I'm sure like 1 or 2 people a year die from it. That's what, if I had to guess, I would say 1 to 2 people a year die from a bungee jump death.
1 to 2?
Yeah, 1 to 2. 1 or 2 people a year. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay. If I had to do it, just because you have to find out where to go bungee jumping.
Dying in skydiving is actually way more.
Really?
It's 1 in 101,083 jumps.
That's still relatively small.
Bungee jumping is 2 in 1 million.
2 in 1 million? Okay.
When you look at those numbers, you're like, I don't know if I want to skydive anymore.
Good. Fuck skydiving. Why would I do that? You have to rely on it. If you think about it too, like when you're bungee jumping, like, and you go down, usually the cord will like stretch and then it'll snap, so it kind of slows your fall for a little bit and then it'll drop you a little bit.
Hang gliding is actually one of the most deadly.
Yeah, I believe that.
1 in 560.
I believe that.
Hang gliding's pretty bad, yeah. That's pretty sketchy.
There used to be, when I was little, and I lived out before I moved to Peck.
American football is pretty high up there.
American football?
Chance of injury, yeah.
Oh, chance of injury?
Oh, no, your chances of dying, I guess.
Chances of dying?
American football, 1 in 50,000. Which I guess would be pretty accurate. You don't hear about a lot of people, and that's because there's not a lot of 50,000 people walking into the NFL. This probably happens once a decade or something.
So if you think of, there's 32 teams, and they've got 55-man rosters.
Uh-huh.
And then it's not all of them. There's bye weeks and stuff like that. But I mean, there's 17 weeks in the season. They play 16 games. That's not counting the playoffs. And
here it says bungee jumping is 1 in 500,000.
Even still, I mean, I don't know. If I wouldn't do it, I just wouldn't.
Driving a car is much more deadly than other things.
Well, yeah, people do that. Millions and millions and millions of people do that every day, and there's all kinds of shit with people.
1 in 6,700.
Yeah, you start looking at the numbers and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's banana sandwich. But, I mean, driving's super sketch. The only reason why people don't get freaked out by it is because they do it every day. But, I think we should transition to the nerdy portion of the podcast. I think let's talk about games. We'll get, like, half an hour of that in.
Talk about dying and stuff.
Talk about dying. Hey, man. It's like a video game. You respawn.
Obesity's got some pretty interesting numbers on here.
Really?
Yes. And this has to do with child obesity.
Okay.
It says if you are obese at the age of 15 and plus, you are 3 times more at risk.
3 times more at risk of dying of heart disease?
Yes, I would assume.
That's what I would think. I know obesity is linked with a lot of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, your heart just stops.
Yeah.
Between 5 and 14, you are 2 times as likely.
If you're obese between those ages?
Yes, between 5 and 14.
Okay. I believe that. It's not good to be obese, man. It puts a lot of strain on your body. Does a lot of bad things.
Your back, your legs, your joints, your tendons, your
man.
heart.
I couldn't imagine.
Your liver, all that, anything, your intestines, everything.
Yeah. It's just not good.
Your entire body, it suffers from being obese. It's not healthy, of course.
Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious. The jury's not out on that, everybody knows.
But I'm not saying obese people are disgusting. It is what it is. Anyways, games.
Games. Let's talk about some games, man. So, honestly, if we're gonna get to it, like, I want to talk about Smite. I want to talk about some of the upcoming things.
No.
I want to talk about some of the upcoming shit that's going on in Smite. So they've announced the new patch.
3.14.
3.14, the Pi patch.
If they don't do anything with that, I'm going to be disappointed.
It doesn't look like they're doing anything.
No, because they're freaking losers.
Because they're freaking losers.
Just kidding, a high res. Give me gems, please.
Fuck high res. The new god looks like shit.
I played her in the PTS. She needs some changes a little bit.
Needs some changes.
She just needs to do more damage.
They've already changed the power pots in the PTS.
They changed the red pot, yeah.
They didn't change the magic one?
No, it's just red pot.
Just the red pot.
Well, I guess they changed the purple pot in its price.
Okay, yeah, they
both went up to 500 gold.
So that's an extra 50 gold.
An extra 50 gold, which is like nothing. It's like 2 minions.
Yeah.
Not really. It's like a wave, but still.
That's not bad. And then you magic pot 60 power.
60 power and CDR.
CDR
I think it's 20% CDR.
Is it that much?
I think so.
Oh my god.
It might be 10. It's probably 10.
Okay. And then you get mana refund as well.
Yes. When you hit an enemy god with an ability, you get 5% of your mana back.
Does that count on ticks? Like if I hit you with Poseidon Whirlpool?
No.
No? Okay. So that's a thing. And you've play tested this.
I have played with the purple pot in the PTS, yes.
And you think it's fucking dumb?
I think it's retarded.
It's retarded?
At level 7, if you're doing well for yourself, you should have boots done, maybe tier 1 of Thoth, or Book of Thoth. And if you buy this pot, you already had like 300 mana, and then you get 60 power from it. You end up with about 180 power with boots and the tier 1 of Thoth or something like that, and 60 power. So you're hitting hard already. Okay. And then you hit an enemy god with your ability.
That's not counting Soulstone either.
That's not counting Soulstone, yeah. And then you hit an enemy god with an ability, and you get about 95% of your mana back that you used for the ability.
It's pretty fucking garbage.
It's busted. And if they don't change it on release of the patch, it's 110%. The magic pot is a need to buy at level 7.
This is a fucking guy that plays mages and loves mages a lot, and he fucking thinks this item is busted.
I've put about 800 hours into mages class.
Yeah.
807 hours into mages. And this pot cannot be released. It cannot be released the way it is.
Yeah.
It is... You literally can poke out somebody and get every bit of mana you use to poke them with.
Yeah.
So if you're going against an Isis as Rajan or something like that, or I guess you could be both either in that one. If you have the purple pot and your opponent doesn't, you use your 1 to clear the lane. Yep. And if you hit them at the same time, you get free damage and free lane clear.
Yeah.
Because you did not cost any mana to cast that ability at all.
And then you can throw out that ability.
And then you use Soul Stone, and you get 10% CDR on top of the 60% power, or 60 power it gives you already. So you're going to be throwing out that ability again faster for no cost.
Yep.
For the 3 minutes that you have Purple Pot, hit as many people as you possibly can with everything. Because it's free.
I think it's good in the sense that it's trying to promote an aggressive style, but at the same time, it's like, man, you're going to have it where it snowballs and the game's just over at like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's...
Oh, 10 minutes? I don't know about that.
I don't know, man.
Some games end at 10 minutes anyways, because they all have 6.
If a fucking Raijin goes up fucking 4 levels on that mid and nobody can rotate on him, and then he just gets free rotations everywhere, that's GG, man. At 7 minutes?
I wouldn't. You have 6 a lot. I don't like to have 6.
Do you think that it would balance it more if it was a 10-minute item? A 10-minute pot instead of a 7-minute pot?
Like level 10?
Yeah, if it was restricted to level 10. Do you think that
would... It would just be the same thing.
You think so?
It would be the same thing. Because then at level... at level 10...
About what point in the game, on average, are you level 10? How many minutes does it take for you to get to level 10 on average?
It all depends on the other person.
So you're having a decent game. Like you got maybe one or two kills.
1 or 2 kills and mid camps? Mid camp control?
Say 50-50. If you had to guess, just a rough estimate. 7 minutes?
7 to 8 minutes?
8 minutes? We'll say 8 minutes conservatively.
Because at 7 to 8 minutes too, you should have your Book of Thought done.
As opposed to 7 minutes, or level 7, you have that done by about 4 or 5 minutes, right? You're about that level? Give or take?
About a level a minute, depending on how well you're farming.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you. I think they need to nerf.
I think they should get rid of the mana refund. It's stupid.
Yeah.
That is retarded.
Yeah.
You're already getting CDR and power out of it. You do not need that mana return.
DM Brandon hates CDR. He absolutely hates cooldown. He thinks it shouldn't even be a stat in the game.
No, he didn't say that.
He absolutely has. I've heard him multiple times say that he doesn't think CDR should be a stat in the game.
He made fun of somebody on the Smite Reddit because they said CDR is useless. And then he's like, I like CDR. It's good. If you don't have CDR, you're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks it's busted.
Yeah.
He thinks it shouldn't be in the game because of how busted it is.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah. I know they made changes to the red pot. Initially, it was 30 power. And
30 power, 5 pen.
I thought it was 10.
Minutes.
I thought it was 10 pen.
It's always been 5.
Was it 5? Okay. A bleed and a 2-second slow on it.
It was a 20% slow for 2 seconds. Yeah, and then it gave bleed damage 25% to your basic power.
That's ridiculous.
For over 2 seconds, I think it ticks.
That's ridiculous. That's
it'd be like an additional blue stone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they got rid of the tick damage.
Didn't they replace it with something, though?
They replaced it with something, but the wording of the red pod is weird now.
Is it?
It's odd. It's like you deal an extra 25% damage to a god for an ability that you hit him with, but it doesn't say how often it procs or if it's on cooldown or not. It just says that you'll hit him once for 25% extra damage.
So it's like a rune forge.
Yeah.
In a
kind
potion.
of. In a way. But it doesn't specify if it has a cooldown or not. You know how Oboe can only proc lightning once every 7 seconds?
Yeah.
It doesn't say if it can do the extra 25% damage every 5 seconds.
Okay.
It says nothing like that. So it's confusing because you don't know if you only hit them once, it's going to proc only once and once only.
Okay.
Or not. So they just need to reword it to where it makes sense. It needs to be clear to the person that buys it.
Would you say it's balanced?
Yeah, the red pot's balanced.
You think so?
When they got rid of the slow and added the extra 25% power, yes, it's balanced.
Okay.
The bleed damage was stupid and the slow was actually ridiculous. There's no reason a red pot at 500 gold should give a 20% slow. Especially for junglers that would have that.
Do you think hunters are going to be picking it up?
No.
No?
Nope. Too busy on stacks.
I was going to say, I don't think junglers are going to pick it up either. At least not at level 7. I don't think that we're going to touch
that's an easy back, though. You back at level 7, you finish your boots, you buy 500 gold pot, you run back out.
I think you do it.
It's 30 power, 5 pen.
I think you do it if you're planning on aggressing. I think that's a thing.
I mean, you would need it at level 7 in the jungle anyways. That 5 pen is strong.
I don't know.
Especially because you'll have your boots finished. You'll have gold for 100%. Because boots are cheap.
You usually, anytime I've played jungle, I get boots around level 4 is when I have power boots. And then I start going into Jotuns. And Jotuns I have done by about level 7, give or take. And then I start... Usually I'll build Void Shield for the next item, and that strips protections, gives you defense, and gives you power. So... I don't know.
I'm saying if I'm in the jungle, I'm buying it.
That is cheaper than going into that shield.
I'm buying it 100%.
The tier 1 of shield is 890. That's tier 1. And it's a 500 gold potion that gives you 30 power, 5 pen, and then all that other shit.
Extra 25% damage.
I mean, I guess.
I would buy it if I was in the jungle. I don't play jungle often, but I would 100% buy it.
I think if you do that, you absolutely need to aggress. And
you're ganking lanes anyways. You're going to get the damage off.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I think it's going to reward some gods more than others, for sure. Gods like Ratatoskr, Susa, Thor, some of the more aggressive gods. I think it's going to really reward them.
Well, junglers all are aggressive by nature.
Not all of them. Some of them you have to wait and build up a little bit before you really go in. Like Mercury. Mercury is like one of those ones. He just doesn't have a good poke and stuff like that. I think he's in a bad spot in the meta right now.
I think he's fine.
I don't care what Weekend says. I know Weekend's a bomb ass jungle. I don't think Mercury's a top 5 jungler in my opinion. But I don't play on the same level as him. But I don't know, man. I think it's gonna reward some gods more than others. I do agree with you. I think the blue pot is absolutely fucking broken.
Purple pot's dumb. They need to fix it. Get rid of the refund. That's it. At level 7, you don't need to have free abilities. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, especially if you're building thought. Like there's
if you poke them once, you get it back. You just hit them once with an ability, which is not hard. In mid, it's a poke fest, or it gets poked out more. And if you're getting free poke, and you can just poke them again in 5 or 4 seconds because the cooldown's reduced as well. They're not too much. It's busted. They just need to get rid of the refund, and it'll be all right.
What about if it was level 10 and they increased the price to 800?
Nobody would buy it.
Nobody would buy it?
Nope. At 800, at level 10, you have more important items at level 10 to be buying. At level 10, you have to start building pen in mid lane. Otherwise, you're not going to be hitting anybody.
I think that they are going to do some refining before they do that. The pots just need to be changed a little bit. I agree with you. I think they're a little overpowered. The purple pot definitely is. I haven't tested the red pot, so I can't speak to it one way or another. But just by looking at it, it looks like it's going to reward certain gods more than others.
I put it on a Medusa when I was playing in the ADC.
I'm sure that would be pretty good.
It was noticeable.
That would help with your clear.
It was noticeable on the poke more than anything. That 5 pen is ridiculously good. It might not seem like a big number, but 5 pen, it helps a lot.
Yeah. There's like some guide changes, but nothing really incredible.
Nothing too spectacular or anything. Like Nisha got a passive meter change.
They made it so that way it's a little bit more obvious in terms of actual.
Because the numbers that it said what number it had was too not good, I guess.
Actual buffs and nerfs, they really didn't do anything extraordinary.
That's because they just hit a huge mid-season patch. They all did them all there.
Yeah, and then there really hasn't been much testing. But
new god needs a buff, that's for sure.
Oh, the Terra?
Terra. I'll say her kit is interesting. It's fun to play. She just needs to do a little bit more in fights. That's all. A little bit more.
Her alt seems like it'll be pretty good. I think it could swing a team fight.
It's pretty good to engage, and then, or if you're behind losing, to disengage.
Okay.
It's a little baby sprint that doesn't give you immunity to slows.
Yeah.
That's my pet peeve with it as well. is it doesn't give immunity to slows.
So you got to be careful. You're going to make it an OP ability.
Oh yeah, because there aren't a lot of those or anything. Yeah.
I'm just saying. She's a. I don't know.
I think if you're giving movement speed, you should give something that immunes slows. Like almost every self buff of movement, it gets immune to slows. The Kyukyukan 2, when he goes into like the Spirit Wind or whatever it's called, it's immune to slows. Hebo, when he's inside of his little water trail, immune to slows.
I guess. I don't know.
Sprint, immune to slows.
Sprint, though, that costs an entire active, though. That takes up an entire spot, and it's an item you can't get rid of.
Well, it's an ultimate. You're getting it every 52 seconds or something like that. 60, I think.
Yeah, but it's a global that affects your entire team, gives cooldown. I think it gives... Does it not give protections?
No.
I thought it gave protections.
It's no protections. It's mana cost reduction 0 or 100%. So
yeah, so free
abilities. At max rank it gives 60% CDR, which I don't understand how they're doing that, because if it caps off at the CDR cap, which is what, 40%.
Something like
that. If your entire team gets max cap 40, does it go over cap, or does it not go over cap?
Does that cap only affect her, or does it affect?
It affects everyone
team?
with the buff.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if it would go over cap or not. So if your team gets CDR, and then she pops her alt CDR portion of it is useless because there's a cap.
Okay.
And it's 60% anyways at max rank that goes over cap. So
that
I don't know why
useless,
I don't know why it would go over cap, or if you are at cap, if it pushes you to 100% reduction, which would be kind of a little something.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's really confusing. Her ultimate, the CDR portion of it is a little odd, but then it gives you a 30% movement speed.
Seems like they didn't do a very good job with a lot of
the numbers. The numbers on that fucking alt doesn't make any sense, or any of her kit really. Her 2 does no damage. No. Her 3 heal is probably the monolith. The little that's her best ability, 100%.
I think that 2.
It's good for outplays, and it's good to your team has to, the other team has to run around it. It's kind of like a Ymir wall, except if you run in between it, you're screwed.
I thought that they were going to do it different. I didn't think that it was going to be just like a flat thing that would pop out. I thought you would pop up like one monolith on one spot and then one on another, and then it would do almost like a Amuz and Cobb, like where you could free draw.
Yeah.
I thought you would be able to do something like that, and then like get a line like that. That's what I thought it was going to do.
It would have been a lot better kind of like that, but it's not. It's really hard to aim. And when you do put it somewhere, you have to put it in front of them, and there is a time for it to like come up through the ground.
Yeah.
So
I've
during that time, if they change direction, it's gone. It's useless. As well as if they're not standing in the middle, they only get hit with one wall. They don't get hit with 2.
Does that not stun them if they only get hit with 1?
No, they get stunned no matter what.
Okay.
The stun on it is good. It's just the damage and like the whole mechanic of it is not very good. I think they should get rid of the charge time on it for it to come through the wall or to come up through the ground, because you can't cast it and then cast it immediately to like crush somebody.
I
if you need it in a specific situation like that second, you have to wait for it.
They've been doing that a lot with a lot of gods though. Like they'll have it to where it's like slow, and then they'll like
put it on her pillar is there. It's you put that pillar down, it's there. It's immediately there.
I don't know. It seems like she's kind of.
But her 3 is 100% her best ability. That tick damage heal, and damage and tick heal is really good.
Well, she can get a double dash if she runs through any of her monoliths.
Yes, any of them.
And
that counts the 3 structure as well as your walls on your 2. And in your walls do, I think if you dash through them, it roots as well. It does bonus damage if you dash them.
Okay.
And then you get an additional dash. But her 3 is 100% the best ability. What you can do with the 3, I've noticed. I played her a little bit, and I kind of got an idea on how to play her a little bit. I don't know if it's the right way to play her or how I should play her, but I leveled up the 3 and leveled up my dash. So what you can do is you can put the monolith in the middle of the lane, in between the archers and the minions, and the melee minions. You can dash through the both, and then it activates the tick damage, and then you turn around and dash a second time through the lane, and it's pretty much gone.
Okay, so she...
And the tick damage on the 3 is really good. It's strong. It's like, max rank, I think, is 60 per 0.5 seconds.
So that's not bad.
The tick damage is really strong, and her lane clear is not that bad with that. I think her 3 is really good. It's a really good ability, because you can also activate the heal, sit in the heal if you need it, and if they try and engage on you, you can dash it to turn it to the damage form. And then they're rooted in there as well.
Okay.
So after they're rooted, you can dash at them to try and force them off or do whatever. I think her 3-in-1 combo is really good, and her ult, like I said, is confusing. The numbers don't make sense. But otherwise, as a whole, the 2 is really bad.
Yeah.
The 2 is garbage. It needs a little bit more damage, I think, is all it really needs. I don't think you should overbuff it, because if you overbuff it and you're in a situation like Kabrakan, where like that dude takes no damage and he deals out a crap ton.
Yeah.
As she is, she heals up a lot of damage. She doesn't take a lot of damage. She's really utility. She's good for team fighting utility.
It seems like the last 2 Guardians, the last Guardian they released was Fafnir. It seems like they're putting them, like, they want them to be supports specifically, because Fafnir, he's really, really powerful, but he just doesn't have enough clear to, like, jungle
to be
or
by himself.
Solo lane.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have enough, and it seems like that's kind of what they were trying to do with her, where they just kind of underwhelmed her a little bit. If I were
playing her in solo lane, I think I could play her to clear out pretty good.
Think so?
Yeah. 100%. Especially if I was in solo lane, I think I could... And the build I found that was pretty nice on her, too, is Mystic Mail.
Okay.
If you put Mystic Mail on her, she does some insane damage.
That thing's pretty cheap right now, isn't it?
It's
only
dead
2,200?
It's like 2,300.
And that gives 40 damage a second, right?
It's 40 damage a second, magical damage. It gives you 200 health, I think.
Yeah.
And then, like, 30 protection.
Yeah. That's not terrible.
It's not a bad item. And what I found in the solo lane with her is that you could do your 3 tick damage, and then they're rooted in your tick damage with your Mystic Mail tick damage, and they take a lot of damage.
Well, she has a slow on her basic as well, doesn't she, if she does something? I thought that she had...
I think it's the 2, when you break the wall. When you use the wall to break it, like you dash through the wall, I think that applies as slow.
Okay. I thought she had...
But I didn't notice any slow on her.
I thought she had a heavy hammer slow off of her basic with something. I thought she did.
Maybe it's if she's in the 3. I'm not sure.
It might be.
But I just use the 3 as like a root, because in the tick damage, shield damage, or the heal, it's good. It's a good ability. She's really fun to play. I enjoyed my time with Terra. I think she just needs a little bit more damage to make her
decent,
attractive as a pick.
Because if you look at like the top Guardians right now, they do damage. Sobek, Bacchus.
Bacchus is big.
Yeah, they just do a lot of damage.
Yeah, you just need to make her a little bit scarier.
Yeah.
I think that's about all you need to change on her. Otherwise, she's fun to play.
It looks like she has a pretty high skill floor as well. Like if
you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're not decent at playing her, it seems like you're just going to do fucking awful.
You really have to understand the mechanics of the game. Yeah.
It's so I
think the skill cap for her is kind of on the upper scale. It's not like you can play Smite day 5 and be like, I'm going to play Terra and do okay. Like anybody can. That's on day 5 of Smite could play Ymir. He's easy to play. True. He's got an easy kit. He's got a good kit, but you could not pick up Terra day 5 and be like, I'm going to do okay. You're gonna fall on your face.
Yeah. Have you done any of the testing with Jingwei and any of her buffs?
No, I did not play Jingwei.
Supposedly, she's pretty fluid now with some of her movements. She goes up into her ult quicker.
I always hated the charge time. I thought it was unnecessary.
It seems like they just kind of made her a little bit more fluid. They reduced the mana on the bolts, her main link.
Well, you kind of have to do that now that Golembo's going.
Drop those by 20 magic. It was 70. I think it's down to 50.
That's really good. And it scales up to what, 70 at max rank?
I think so.
That would make sense. Because as you level up, you get mana anyways.
They reduced that, and I mean, I would assume that you build Transcendence with her.
Yeah.
I would build Transcendence with most hunters right now.
Yes, that's true.
Although they are trying to make it more attractive to go into dev gloves.
They are, and it's really interesting with bluestone and dev gloves tier 1 with 2 pots. It's very fluid, I would say. I played it on Medusa. It seemed to work pretty well.
Did you try the new Death's Toll?
No.
No? I heard that is going to be kind of interesting for solo laners.
It's probably pretty noticeable, yeah.
Gods like Osiris.
Osiris and Bellona.
Yeah.
Tyr might even profit off of that.
I would probably still do Bluestone with him just for the lane clear.
Yeah, you're gonna one-shot him anyways at level 4 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I would pick up Death's Toll with Tyr, but it's definitely gonna be noticeable.
Osiris and things like that.
Osiris,
Ravon's
Rev,
really gonna profit.
It's gonna be really nice. Rev, I think Rev is one of the top solo laners in my opinion. I would put him.
I hate Rev.
I think he's in my opinion. If I had to do a top 5 list, I would put him in the top 3. I think just off the top of my head, I think he'd be a top 3 in my opinion. Just because he can do things to people. But yeah, especially with the new Death's Toll, we'll see how that goes. There just doesn't seem to be anything that's really meta changing.
They changed Artemis a little bit. They reduced her mana consumption.
No, the only thing that they changed is that her attack speed is faster and she hits a little bit harder as well.
Oh, okay.
They touched her base stats, and whenever anybody's base stats are touched, that's usually a pretty big deal. But I still
need to give her more mana. She has like 300 mana. When
I don't think Artemis is going to be meta.
No, not especially now that Golden Bow is coming. Golden Bow is what made her come back.
She might be decent if you can get Kefri or Sylvanas. I think those two.
I'll tell you what, Sylvanas with Soulstone, man. Ooh boy.
Sylvanas has a nasty lane clear right now. He's putting in a lot of work. I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of see because we're not pros. We don't know everything that they're thinking right now and some of the builds that they have. I think it's going to be interesting watching the split. I'm glad Golden Bow's gone. Things like
that's a big improvement.
Yeah. Anything that
Golden Bow's gone, and once Golden Bow left, man, those attack speed boots became useless to me.
Really?
You don't need that shit anymore. No, I'd rather take the extra 15 power. You don't need it. Especially, I have a newer build if I'm ADC now, anyways.
Really?
Yeah, I go trans, power boots, oboe into chins into your crits.
I like Asi a lot. I'm liking that just because it's got 15 penetration on it. It's 15 or 10.
Asi's good, yeah.
And it gives you a pretty decent attack speed buff as well.
I tend to play pretty okay. I don't really need lifesteal as a necessity.
Do you think Chins is going to be...
Chins is still useful, yes.
Because their builds are getting a lot more expensive now because everyone's starting to pick up crits again.
Because they're actually cheaper. So
Rage is good. I like Wind Demon a lot.
I usually go Wind Demon, Deathbringer. Those are my two.
I really like Wind Demon.
You're at 40% crit, and then when you do crit, it's higher for damage, and then you get a movement speed and an attack speed.
Wind Demon gives 40 power as well, doesn't it?
Is it 40 or is it 50?
I don't think it gives 50. I think it's 40.
I could look it up. It's on the higher end, though.
It is. It absolutely is. I like Wind Demon a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to play around with some gods and do some things. Still can't play mid.
Jingwei's very good in the dual lane.
Yeah.
Along with Medusa's way high. She's so fun. Yeah, it's 40 power.
40 power? Okay.
Yep. 40 power, 2,600 gold.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when the season starts up. I think it's coming pretty quick here.
I think it's next month. It starts on the 5th.
Next month.
On Thursday?
It's the winter season, I think.
I think it starts August 5th.
Okay. Well, that'll be good. Anything else you want to discuss in the gaming world?
No.
No? Let's say I think we can get the food review going pretty quick here.
Yeah, we need to get that cooking.
Yeah, we'll do a little quick cut. So, yeah, let's go ahead. And we're going to be cutting now. Oh my gosh. And just like that, no cut needed. So we went ahead and we cooked up these Doritos loaded. They look like paper footballs. And it's like a Dorito I guess it's like a Dorito. It's just like a thick Dorito. It looks like it's got some sort of seasoning on it. It doesn't really have... Well, I guess it kind of does. It has like the Dorito cheese that'll rub off on your fingers.
Dorito like crust on the outside.
Yeah, it's like a Dorito crust, and it's filled with nacho cheese. So we went ahead. We've got these cooked up. We put a little bit of ranch on the side as well.
Give a little bit of both worlds.
Yeah, so hopefully it's cooled off. I guess let's go in, get our bites in. So we're doing the regular ones right now. No ranch necessary.
They are a little hot.
They're a little bit hot, so if you hear us crying, you know that's why.
The cheese is really hot.
Oh my god.
First impression, though, it's very good.
I'm liking it.
The cheese and the Dorito flavor kind of mixes very well. It almost tastes like a mac and cheese casserole, except with like a Dorito topping.
Yeah. This would be really good if it had meat in it. Wow.
They have a stuffed pepper variant as well.
Oh my god. Yeah, you could put some meat, some lettuce, maybe a little tomato, some sour cream in this.
You got yourself stuffed pepper dinner.
Got yourself a Doritos Locos taco right there, boy. Honestly, that would probably be really good if you were like on a bachelor pad kind of deal going on here.
It doesn't even really taste like nacho cheese, really.
No.
It tastes like macaroni and cheese.
It's really not bad. So that's my first one.
Yeah.
I've completed without ranch. It's good. Honestly.
It's pretty darn good.
I'm impressed. It would be perfect if you added more to it. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna dip it in some ranch.
Get some ranch going on here.
See what it's doing.
A northern tradition.
Looking good. I got a nice healthy portion of ranch on mine.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
That's really good with some ranch on there.
So we went with just the original Hidden Valley Ranch to add onto it.
Can't find it. It's hidden.
It just magically appeared on our plates. This is pretty damn good with some Hidden Valley on it. My word. I'm gonna have to buy more of these.
It's very cheesy. It's very good, very cheesy. If you're a big fan of cheese, you're gonna love. If you're a big fan of Doritos and cheese, this is just like a combination of both. Imagine if you just like ate some Doritos and then ate like a stick of cheese. This is exactly what it'll taste like, and it's very good. They're not that expensive. You get a pretty good amount of like a pretty good amount.
I think it's like $4. We cooked up 9 of them.
I think there's 15 or 12 in the box.
Something like that. There's still quite a few left. It's like $4. This would be great. This is perfect for like a party, like little.
It's a good party snack, or if you're in a gaming break.
Yeah.
You take it a break in between games or something like that. This is a perfect gaming snack right here.
I tell you what, adding the ranch to it, it just puts it on a whole nother level.
It's on another tier.
I really want to try this with some like taco meat and stuff like that. I really want to add some of that with this because
I think that would be absolutely killer.
That would be phenomenal. Oh, dude, hold on. Let me go get a little custom in here.
Huh?
Keep them entertained.
I don't know what you're doing, man. You're freeballing this. Oh, okay. He went to go grab the fire Taco Bell sauce.
Yeah, so this is the Taco Bell sauce, the fire sauce, just because I ain't no bitch, and I like it hot.
It's just a different flavor. I like the medium.
It's really not hot. The fire's not hot.
It's not hot. It's just a different flavor. Medium and fire, there's no difference between it. They just taste different.
Right. So I'm going to do this with just the sauce initially. Just the fire sauce on it, and we'll see what it does. That's not bad either.
Yeah. I honestly don't think there's any way you could go wrong with this. Maybe ketchup would taste a little weird, but I mean, who puts ketchup on like mac and cheese?
I'll do it right now. I'll go in. I've heard of people putting ketchup on mac and cheese.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it.
I'll even. This is improv right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, A1 barbecue as well.
Get a good little shake up.
We're doing it so you don't have to.
Or maybe you want to.
Or you want to. Either way, this is a great pickup at the store. You find them in the frozen section, correct?
Yeah. This is over in the frozen section. I found this over by like the pizzas and stuff like that.
Okay, so typically right in front of the store, will be the frozen section. You'll find this right in the front. On your way out, your way to the register, you can grab one and quick pick it up before you head over to the register. It's a very good snack, very good price, very good quantity, very good taste.
A lot of people get pizza rolls anyways. I think this is way above pizza rolls.
In my opinion, this is better than pizza rolls. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna try the ketchup first. I think the ketchup will be fine. I can't imagine ketchup will be bad with this. We're going with the Great Value tomato ketchup. Let's see how that is. Tastes good.
It's still good, yeah.
Still tastes good.
Mm-hmm. And I have had the spicy jalapeno stuffed peppers ones before as well, and they are phenomenal.
Just because of how it's not an overpowering flavor,
but it's there. It's good.
It's strong enough that it'll it just mixes well. All right, let's try it with the A1. Smells fine.
It looks good. Smells good. A1 not the greatest.
It's not the greatest with A1.
Okay, that's understandable. What I would like to try is some buffalo, but I don't think we have any buffalo sauce. I think a buffalo sauce would be very, very good. We got spicy ketchup.
Some Whataburger spicy ketchup. I'm just going in just to ruin myself.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Am I gonna have to do like an individual review for like each of the sauces?
Each of the different ones.
I'll do it. I'll do an individual.
There are different products to this, and they are very good.
All right. So here's the Whataburger spicy ketchup.
Even if you're not a fan of spicy things, the stuffed peppered variants of these Doritos, the nacho cheese Doritos, are very good as well. They're not very spicy, but it's just a good taste. Yeah.
I think I like the ranch the best.
The ranch, hands down, in my opinion, is good. It's I didn't have any others, but it was pretty good with the ranch.
I would probably go the ranch is the best. The regular ketchup will actually probably be second for me.
Really? Okay.
Third would be the fire sauce. Fourth would be the spicy ketchup, and
really, and with how much you like Taco Bell, only third. That's pretty.
The regular ketchup's actually pretty damn good.
All right.
I'm very impressed with it.
All right, so a score out of 10. What would you give the nacho cheese Dorito?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Just by themselves, I would give them. I'll go like an 8.5 out of 10. Just
8.5
by themselves.
out of 10 is good.
Just by themselves.
Okay.
What about you?
I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
9.5. It was
on the base.
It was very, very good.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with these.
And the ranch, it's 10 out of 10. It was very, very, very good with the ranch.
The ranch, I would definitely bump it up to a 9.5 for me. The ranch would definitely go up to a 9.5. Ketchup, I guess a 9. I would say
it's what we're trying to get at is it's really good.
Yeah, and then the fire sauce and the spicy ketchup, I would actually probably put those about the same. Those would probably be. I'd guess I'd throw them around an 8.5. They don't really add or take away too much from it.
And the snack, it's just a fantastic item.
The A1, I'd probably drop it down to like an 8. It's still not bad.
Let's just say don't put A1 on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend A1 on it. It's still not bad. Let's go back in for the ranch.
It's a flavor. But
yeah, the ranch definitely.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 with ranch. 9.5 flat product out of the box into the oven. It's a great product to pick up. Good filling snack, cheap on the wallet.
Yeah, it's got a good texture and everything to it too. It's crispy on the outside, cheesy on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I have no complaints about this at all.
It's a fantastic product.
All right, well, I think that settles it. Go out and get yourself some
nacho cheese Doritos,
loaded, frozen,
something. You'll find them.
You'll find them
in the frozen section, right next to the pizzas. You just look for Doritos. You'll find it.
Yeah, they make it pretty obvious. They're on end caps sometimes too. So, anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for checking out the podcast. It's a lot of fun. Love doing these food reviews too. It's awesome.
Good stuff,
you get to eat stuff, man. It's awesome.
Gotta eat.
So thank you guys. We'll be back next week. I think Karina might be a week or two away for her podcast. And we'll have all that.
Yes.
She's coming down the 9th.
It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks.
So we'll have another podcast in between there without her.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for checking out the podcast as always. This is Sam and Blake. We're going to be signing out. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.